It's good to have you with us today. A video has been released showing the Israeli ambassador to Germany reading some of the hate mails received by the embassy. Have a look at this.
Ist, dass ihr Juden euch auf dem Holocaust ausruht und nichts arbeiten wollt. Die Menschheit wird voll ganz offensichtlich erst dann wieder können, wenn auch die letzte Judenrate über den großen Jordan gekickt wurde. Ihr seid Mörder, kapiert das? Alle hassen euch, Gott bestrafe euch und eure Familien, damit ihr wisst, wie es ist. Und das ist eine sehr dünne Deckung für Antisemitismus unter dem Titel Israel-Kritik. Das ist kein Israel-Kritik, das ist Antisemitismus.
Apparently, the Israeli embassy gets about 20 hate letters every day, and German Jews have been warned not to make themselves too recognizable in public. Speaking to a Berlin radio station, the head of the Central Council of Jews said that it would be reasonable for people to avoid wearing kippahs in what he called problem neighborhoods. He then clarified that he meant in areas with a large Muslim population. He said a few years ago this kind of concern would have been unthinkable. But the number of hate crimes against Jews has been climbing in recent years. 2013, for example, 788 anti-Semitic crimes were committed in Germany. Last year, the number was well over 800. That's at least a 10% rise. And we spoke to Berlin-based Rabbi Daniel Alter.
If you're identified as being Jewish, there are definitely regions in Germany where this might cause problems for you. A large number of schools, we are having huge problems with anti-Semitism. To give you an example how that feels, in most of the Berlin schools, on the schoolyard, the word Jew is used as an insult on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, the hatred of Jews has gone much more open and much more aggressive.
The rabbi himself was once attacked while walking down the street in broad daylight.
I was on my way home with my 7-year-old daughter, and we met a group of young people with a Muslim background, as I would assume, with an Arab background. And suddenly one of them asked me if I was Jewish, and when I said yes, he started immediately to provoke me, to insult me, and ushered threats of sexual violence against all female members of my family, and also threats of physical violence. And after that, he came to attack me, and he broke my jawbone, so I had to go to the hospital.
10 minutes past the hour here in Moscow. Surpassing online security today is easy, and there's almost no limit to what hackers can do. That's what a hacker legend, Kevin Mitnick, told RT's Sophie Shevardnadze during her program.
So it doesn't surprise me when I hear about all these attacks into companies like that process credit cards, and companies like Sony that was recently hacked. It's not a surprise to myself, and it's not a surprise to other people that are security experts, because we realize it's so easy. It's not hard at all. What's hard is defending yourself against these attacks. Well, I remember back in the 80s and 90s, I pretty much compromised all the telecommunication systems in the United States. So I had full control of all the telephone switches in New York, California, Chicago, and many other states. So now you can imagine, fast forward 20, 25 years, what the capabilities are.
Yeah, plenty of stories coming your way after a very short break here on RT International, including the story that, well, if you're gay, you can't possibly have children. That's coming your way.
We are not talking the language of war, but I will only react to situations.
I have read the reports, but I'm not in a position to...
No, I will leave that to the State Department to comment on your latter point.
I don't want to say that.
Mr. Kerry, do you have any comments on the document? No comment? Thank you.
No more weasel words. When you evade a direct question, be prepared for a chase. When you throw a punch, be ready for a battle.
Freedom of speech means little without the freedom to question.
Do we speak your language? Want news, program?
Thanks for sharing your Friday with us here on RT International. Military pressure may be needed to oust Syria's President Assad because he's reluctant to talk to Washington. That message coming from the US Secretary of State John Kerry, with America planning to train thousands of Syrian rebels over the next 3 years. Though, of course, that kind of involvement will come with the risks. Let's show you a picture that went viral after it was first posted by al-Nusra, a part of al-Qaeda's Syria wing that's now independent. It shows a man with what appears to be US anti-tank missiles captured from the American-backed rebel group Hazm. Now, the group was disbanded over the weekend after suffering hundreds of deaths in battles against Islamist radicals. Its collapse has renewed fears weapons have fallen into the hands of extremists. And we talked to the UN Special Envoy for Syria. He believes lethal aid is always a bad idea.
By bringing weapons inside Syria or anywhere there is a conflict, you are putting oil on fire. And therefore, the hope is that there will not be that happening. And I think the Secretary General has been clear about it. The first thing that needs to be happening next is reducing the violence. And then the political dialogue. Ultimately, the solution for this conflict needs to be found by the Syrian people. They need to find a Syrian solution.
Well, the full version of our exclusive interview with the UN Special Envoy to Syria, available for you right now at rt.com. Also there this hour, a Canadian citizen facing a jail term for refusing to unlock his mobile phone during an airport security check. Those details online. Also, analysis of ice caps on Mars indicate the red planet may once have actually been blue several billion years ago. That full story on our website.